You want me to do my work your way? Sure. I've been handling this annual event for years. I know the process, the information we need from guests when to handle their visa, and how to plan the event flow down to the minute. My boss, on the other hand, mostly knows how to look like he does. Last year's event was a mess, so this time I came prepared. I built a shared Excel sheet for the committee. It was clean, structured, everything in one place. Guest names, designations, dietary restrictions, flight details. Fully tabulated, filterable, easy to manage. The idea was simple input once guests have submitted their RSVP via a Google form and were set. At some point, my boss saw the sheet. He deleted it. No heads up, no informing anything BTW. Just gone. Instead, he created a new tab linking directly to the raw Google form responses. During a progress meeting, I mentioned politely that the working sheet had disappeared. That's when he admitted to deleting it because his version was quote more automated / quote, just use the form responses and add columns as needed. In hindsight, it made sense, but not for this kind of event. It was just way more complicated. Guests submit multiple responses when details change. Some cancel. Some bring +1s with completely different flights and dietary needs. It gets messy fast. I raised these concerns, especially since I'd be the one managing it anyway. Despite me explaining multiple times that it's going to be very inefficient, he insisted his way was better. All right then, I'll comply. Every bit of information went exactly where the form responses allowed it to go, no extra structuring, no cleanup. Duplicate RSVP, highlighted in red, no consolidation. Different flight details in one submission. All 4 flights crammed into a single cell. Dietary restrictions for multiple guests, all dumped together. Good luck figuring out who's vegan and who has a nut allergy. Special requests. Full essay pasted in one cell, untouched. I followed his way exactly. Eventually, he realized the sheet was unusable. Couldn't filter anything properly, couldn't find what he needed, and definitely couldn't present it proudly to management to take credit for someone else's work. Meanwhile, I quietly rebuilt my original Excel on my personal drive, so my actual work wasn't affected. But not gonna lie, was tough trying to switch tabs like a ninja when he's micromanaging at my desk. Yes, it's always a fun time when you have to accomplish your work quote surreptitiously / quote. Job like yours are invisible when it's well planned, and a hell for everyone when it's not well planned. The guy handling our region is a true boss. Everything seamless. Reminder, checklist for his client. Kudos to the planners. Hope your boss give you leeway for next year. Good for you. I am managing a weekend convention that's on in 2 weeks, and I use a bunch of shared Google documents to organize it. Only select people have edit privilege on these documents, otherwise, it's just comment, and sometimes only view. Quote it would faster if I could just edit / quote will have no effect on me. These are my documents, and I am sharing them with the people who need the information. The problem is going to be that, when the event is a success because of your surreptitious work, your boss is going to be convinced that his version worked and get angry if you tell him you weren't using it. I feel you OP. I was in a similar situation several years ago. I finally stepped back and let my boss F the big event up without rescuing her, including at the event itself, when she was physically carrying extra chairs in herself due to poor planning. I earned a scolding and a 1-1 for it, but didn't budge an inch. I didn't apologize despite her fishing for it several times. I left shortly after that of my own volition. All right, you've heard the story and the comments. Who do you agree with? And hey, if you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. We post stories like this every week. I didn't stop my niece from eating literal garbage. To preface a little bit about mine and my niece's relationship. Niece lives far away and was coming to visit on some weekends. It had been nothing but problems since she started coming to visit. To the point where the police even showed up on my doorstep because she called them. She had a history of phoning the police on people and making false accusations when things don't go her way. This girl believes that anything that belongs to me is free game for her, like my feminine hygiene products, my razors, my toothbrush, Even my loofah, she tried lying about it when I confronted her about it, which we saw right through, and told her as such. I reminded her again for the probably 10th time to leave my stuff alone. The loofah was my last straw, and I chewed her out. I told her I shouldn't have to hide my personal products in my own house, and that she had her own products, to use hers. I also told her that if she didn't have something, to tell one of us and we would try to help her get what she needed. She did not come up for supper that night, the pasta. It's important, I promise, and I thought it was because she was pissed off with me. What 15-year-old likes getting in shit for doing something they knew was wrong. But boy was I wrong. So I was cleaning my kitchen, and I was using a pot to collect the food waste. At this point, it was only pasta and sauce in the pot that I had collected off of the kids' plates that they don't finish from supper the previous night. Majority of the house was sick, so I didn't clean up until the following morning. I had tossed a few scraps off the counter into the pot as well, think like a bread tag or two, some onion skins that were missed during cleanup during cooking, etc. Well, niece comes up. Still won't look at me, still won't acknowledge my existence. I go use the washroom and come back to find her heading downstairs with a big plate of last night's pasta. She cleaned the pot out onto a plate and took it to eat. When I realized, I don't chase her to tell her. We didn't see her again for the rest of the night. The night of her 3-year-old cousin's birthday, we find out over the course of the weekend she had completely emptied our liquor cupboard. It was nothing but empty bottles. We aren't big drinkers, so don't realize right away. Come to find out the last weekend and this current weekend, she drank 5 750 ml bottles ranging from vodka to whiskey to Bailey's, as well as a 250 ml bottle of whiskey, and that's why she wouldn't leave the bedroom. I may have lost like $300 in booze, still kind of ticked about that, but what's done is done. But I will always have the memory of her walking away with a plate of garbage to eat. Stop the visits. Why would you keep volunteering to allow this problem in your house? If real, I wonder why she's even allowed back the second time after the first time anything happened, let alone making this a recurring problem like seasonal weather disaster. I am calling bullshit. A 14-year-old drinks that much booze, they're going to be dead from alcohol poisoning. For an average-sized 15-year-old, drinking even half of one full 750 ml bottle of vodka that's like 12-13 shots in a single evening would probably give them a BAC of 0, 3 or 0, 4. 0, 4 is considered lethal, and she supposedly polished off nearly 3 liters in 2 days. Someone with that much alcohol in their system wouldn't be quote stealthily / quote walking anywhere. They would be lying on the floor aspirating their own vomit. Or dead. Drinking that much in a weekend would have killed her. I would maybe have bought a story of her dumping it down the toilet, or that she finished off the dregs of bottles that were already mostly empty, and that's not $300 worth on anything other than printer ink, but full bottles. No, could not physically happen without her ending up dead or hospitalized. Okay, can we talk about how dismissal OP is at the fact that a 15-year-old drank 5 bottles and whiskey over a weekend? Isn't that amount fucking lethal? In my opinion, if this what you think gives her respite from her difficult life, then you know better than their parent for enabling something like this. Assuming this story is actually true, the child needs help, seriously. And those were the top comments. Which side are you on? And hey, if you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. We post stories like this every week.